Hi, I'm Ryan from Look. Today we're going to explore a new product from Adobe called Project Neo. It allows us to create 3D spaces with vectors. And I want to use this as a tool to explore perspective for an illustration I've been working on. So let's dive in. If you go to projectneo.adobe.com and log in, you'll get presented with this. And just as a reminder, this is the illustration that I created for Marley the mollusk. I want to see how I can improve this particular frame or page so that I can attract attention from a viewer and really guide the eye on where I want to guide, which is, of course, Marley and this expression. There's a lot of things that can be improved here. I explored color theory, but now I'm going to explore perspective. So using Project Neo, what I want to do is create a new design and recreate this lake scene with these tools to see how I can update the perspective so I can put a focus on Marley. I'm going to walk through and introduce this tool. So for now, let's delete this square, select it, press delete on the, well, delete, hello? How come I can't delete this? Let's see, let's move it and delete it. Okay. I'm going to use a cylinder to create some trees. Let's decrease the width. And this, click edit. I'm going to zoom in just to see what I'm taking a look at here. And this would be kind of like the tree trunk, essentially. I'm going to move this down into the ground and let's leave it like that. So I'm just with the trackpad zooming in and out. Now let's create the top with this cone. Click on this top portion here. And let's decrease the width. What happens if we click edit? I'm going to drag these and move it. Let's click on done and move this over. And so I'm going to go back out here and let's increase the size. And we're going to duplicate this by shift and clicking, Command G and Command D to duplicate. And we're going to just move this around. Selecting both of those, Command D, move these around. Okay. So I'm going to move this guy around. So it would be going around like a imaginary lake. And what I'm going to do is create a flat cylinder here to be the lake. So let's add a cylinder right in the middle. Decrease this height and start increasing this length and this width, and then also the size. And if we move this around, this would be essentially the lake. Oh, want to move it. Okay, let's keep it on this. Move all these guys over. And as if we created this lake as like that. Now let's let's add some color. This would be a blue, like a light blue. And this, we can't change, can we change the color? No, we have to deselect it, or sorry, ungroup it. So Command Shift G. Then when I select this tree portion, I can create this green, have it this green color. There's these other items here that I'm not messing around with. And so I can make this, I can save this material. which would have like this color. It would see if it was, you can increase the roughness and like if you increase the metallic and reduce the roughness, depending on the angle. If I press O to orbit, the way that this thing, where the light hits this, if we rotate this light, let's see there. I don't see the reflectiveness. Um, let's go back and press V to select, and it is essentially supposed to get affected by the light, but right now I don't see it. So let's increase the roughness again. Oh, there you go. You can tell there's some sheen, but let's remove the metallic. Let's save the material as tree, and then we can end up applying that to each of these guys. Command Shift G to ungroup. I'm going to do that for the remainder of these two. And then I'll start applying the tree here in my library. All right. Interesting. From the last, I created another one of these. It actually saved it. So apparently your library is saved across canvases. So just applying this, and I want to make this as a brown. Just go back to properties, make this a brown. Okay. Like a light brown somewhere here, like right here. And let's save this as a material, as like a trunk. And then we can apply that. We have to do it one at a time, unfortunately. Trying to do it to multiple. Again, this is kind of like a beta version of the software. I'm sure they'll get feedback from the community for things that are more convenient. So last thing I want to do is add Marley. So we're going to do a cube and just decrease the size, put it to the base of this lake, make Marley longer, make Marley and decrease the size, and then let's also change the color. Going back to properties, we're going to make this just so it can stand out like a red. And I am now going to press O. And what's cool is if you click perspective here on the right, it automatically adjusts the focal length. I'm just clicking and dragging. If we decrease the focal length, it actually skews it more once I zoom in. And that's the idea. So let me go back to the image. I wanted to see if I had the trees pointing at Marley. So this, depending on how I move the trees, so if I press, I'm supposed to be able to press space bar. So let me press V. Oh, something's happening. That's not allowing me to press V. And it's not allowing, so something's going on here. I'm trying to pan. There's my pan. And then let me press O, zoom in. I'm zooming in and out with the trackpad. What I want to do is kind of zoom out of the entire, so I want to see the frame. I feel like it changes to parallel, isometric, perspective. How can I zoom out of the frame? That's interesting. I don't remember it doing this. That's weird. Okay. Let me see what this is. Snap view, frame scene or object. Huh. Okay, so let's just take a look at this. Pressing O. I am just trying to see if I were to decrease the focal length, zoom in, and pan this to where I want it. So if we change the perspective from the ground, the trees are pointing away um, from Marley. But if I tilt this, then we see that the trees are like kind of framing Marley, and that's what I wanted. So I will end this here in terms of just doing this because I just want to see what it would look like. That's just a little bit of snapshot of Project Neo. I want to use it as a tool to look at different perspectives and see how I can improve my illustration to frame it in the way that I want to frame it to get the message out on how I want to craft it. My name is Ryan from Made You Look. Keep dreaming, keep creating, and don't forget, your story matters. Thank you.